Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Starladder Star Series Season number 11 group stages. It is GOOMBA Gaming versus 4 Anchors plus the Sea Caps. And our second game of the day, thank you so much for joining us here on twitch.tv/Dota Starladder_EN. As we have some picks coming out currently for both squads. Ogre Magi, the first pick for GOOMBA. 4ASC pick up the Dazzle first. Again, our second game of the day. We have one more after this. 4ASC already played a game today. That was against xgame.kz. They played very well. Very quick game in that fashion. It was about 24 to 25 minutes. A lot of fun, a lot of action, lots of kills. But as always, thanks so much for joining us. My name is Maut. Joining me today is Blaze. How are you, man?
Pretty good, man. Looking forward to seeing how this game pans out. Seeing if the Snowball, the Storm Spirit, can make his mark on the map here. The Dazzle pickup, it's pretty much going to be like something we see all the time now. He was already very powerful, obviously Team Secret, whereas one of the forerunners as far as taking advantage of this hero. He synergized well with the ET that they love to pick up, but now he's even better by himself, just with that 50 attack range increase, which gives you better zoning potential. One more auto attack can always make the difference, so he's definitely a hero that can do a lot of work, and we saw him do a lot of the work over the past few days. But once again, the Brewmaster gets picked up in the first phase, for better or for worse. GOOMBA Gaming opening up with two beefy individuals who can kind of brawl with the rest of them.
I like the Brewmaster pickup this time around because I don't think GOOMBA are going to play it in the offlane. They certainly could, but that offlane Brew decision coming out from xgame.kz was not the best.
It was already a weak hero to put in the offlane. Like, only a few teams could actually really pull it off. Like, DK Phobos was amazing at it, but there are so many. I think Emerald Bulldog was one of the few others that really was able to make it work. But now that it's nerfed, I don't think that's an offlane hero, period. But I'm sure there's exceptions.
Regardless, GOOMBA Gaming, obviously, they have a couple more bands to go through here. So GOOMBA Gaming is a team that, from what I've seen, and honestly, this might not always be the case, but from what I've seen, they like to go for the late game. Vic and I casted the other day, and we casted two GOOMBA games, and both of them went above 60 minutes, I believe. So we'll see if we get another one of those, or if we get something a bit quicker, a bit more kind of in your face in terms of Dota style and play style. So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, RMN has a lot of faith in himself as far as what he can do at the late game stage. So, obviously, he likes to draft that way in general. But this time around, Exist is the one taking the helm as far as the captain's seat, and he's going to be the one to try to go for a bit of a more unique style around team fight, around heavy nuke damage, and interesting bans, I suppose. I mean, obviously, with the two range heroes, you got to be a little bit worried about the Drow Ranger, but yeah, the Centaur is one of those heroes that you could consider a counter to Brew, in the sense that he usually stampedes when the split comes out, and at most you pick off one person with Tornado.
No Lycan ban just yet. We'll see if 4ASC want to ban it out, or perhaps grab it as they have the next pick as well. I mean, Lycan could be a good overall hero for both of these squads. Didn't really get touched much of the patch, and still is pretty strong. Nope, just kidding, there's the ban. Alright, so much for that. Well, I thought we might see a like in this game. No such luck.
Yeah, with the Dazzle, it's just a little bit too powerful, but they didn't want it for themselves. They wanted to take it out of the hands of GOOMBA, because it is worth noting that, of course, they get first pick in Phase 2, being second pick here, so they kind of get to draft on the flop a little bit. They go back-to-back ban into pick, and the Lycan, the tempo of the Lycan, rather, would probably be counteracting whatever they actually intend to go here, but still, at least going through their standard pick time here to make sure that it is what they want, and I guess even contemplating further into the reserve time. I mean, right here, they have a pretty... I don't know, bare bones draft. They can go a lot of different ways with it. They're not really committed to one thing or another. They've got Rainstorm. They've got the sustainability and survivability of Dazzle. I would love to see like a Dazzle Undying type composition that would put Storm in the mid lane, and they would have to get a carry with a hard stun. But I think that would be really cool to see kind of a big nuke damage, push, physical output type lineup that could really up the tempo. But they go for one of the tried and true heroes here, the Skywrath Mage, very powerful in his silence and maybe taking the Brewmaster out of the fight.
Skywrath Mage is certainly one of those heroes that has the nuke potential to absolutely obliterate people. When you talk about taking Brewmaster out of the fight, there's nobody better usually than a Skywrath Mage, maybe with the exception of a Doom. But yeah, Doom is pretty good, but will he be picked this time around? Honestly, I'm surprised he hasn't been touched more in these past couple of drafts that I've witnessed, so...
He didn't really get any changes in the patch, right? I mean,
I don't think so.
He wasn't really a pariah 6.82, but he wasn't the best pick in most cases. Like, He doesn't fit as easily into the lanes just because of how much he needs to get going now that he needs the Aghanim Scepter, and we see an alternative pick here. I like the Disruptor against Storm. I think it's a really good counter, and honestly, Dazzle and Sky, without casting any spells, have a lot of issues, and we saw this Dazzle-Naga combo from the last game, and while it wasn't really counteracted in that one, other than perhaps the Brewmaster split, here the Disruptor is a very strong counter to Naga Siren. So generally speaking, Naga considers itself able to get out of any situation just with a Song of the Siren and a BOT away. But with the Disruptor, the glimpse range is sufficient that you can send her right back after she completes her BOTs, and that's going to make it so that you can actually bring her down despite the song.
5 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, Disruptor's going to be kind of just looking for this Naga Siren, making her life a miserable living hell, and that's not unusual for any specific support hero. You don't want Naga to be able to just sit back and farm, and Disruptor is one of those heroes that can counter her pretty effectively, whether it's through Static Storm or Glimpse like you talked about. And until, obviously, she can avoid that somehow, this is going to be a tough game maybe for Maut Man, who is probably going to play the Naga Siren. Maybe see a Veilix Storm Spirit come out here in just a moment. For GOOMBA, they have two supports, the Ogre and the Disruptor. They have the Brewmaster in a core position, most likely in the mid lane. They pick a safe lane and an off laner here, and then they're going to get themselves underway and ready to go. So 50 seconds left to reserve time for GOOMBA Gaming. Looking at the draft as it is right now, Disruptor and Ogre, very good roaming duo, I think, for the most part. You could get any hero that you want in the safe lane, and I think you'd be fine with it. It just depends on what you want to try to deal with the Naga Siren. Like, how are you going to fight up against the Naga in this situation?
Yeah, it's hard to find a team roster that'll coordinate well with the fact that they are running stand-ins, even though existing Gasha are no strangers to the GOOMBA lineup. As far as their early, like, they want kind of a carry hero that can do a lot of damage in the early game. Juggernaut is certainly one of those and got buffed a little bit. Sven isn't too bad against the Naga Siren. Ember Spirit's not too bad against Naga, but he is pretty heavily countered by the Storm of the Sky. So, yeah, I'm not exactly sure. They go for the Kunkka. And I'm curious if this is indeed a carry Kunkka. Obviously, the Tidebringer is extremely powerful in the cleave sense, and the ability to, even if a defensive weave is on the entire team of 4 anchors, still do a crazy amount of damage because Tidebringer is cleave and therefore is what we call enhanced damage. Essentially pure, but it is negated by Ghost Scepter. That can be very frustrating for the Naga Siren, and we'll see kind of an interesting lore rivalry as the one who usually sinks ships is going to have one put upon her.
Well, the ship is going to come out here for Kunkka, and not something we see too often. Kunkka in the 4 position has been seen recently, but other than that, how often has Kunkka been picked in 6.82? This is where I wish I had Maut packs with me today to check out some of the info on that. But as far as Kunkka is concerned, it's a hero that has been changed recently in this patch. Obviously, a couple of key features make him a bit better now as he arrives.
I've actually played a couple pubs against it, and the teammates just can't help but feeding against that. They're like, "Oh crap, 4 seconds! Like, it's absolutely insane." Like, they have the glimpse back, which is already like taking you to where you were 4 seconds ago, but the X mark does it at exactly where you want it to be. Like, you don't have to really time it out. You just drop it down, and you're gonna have a kinetic field on top of that. You're gonna have an ogre ready to rumble with you. So essentially, the offlaner can't get anywhere near the fight. It's actually gonna be really difficult. I'm not sure the counter to it. Like, what offlaner can survive against this easily? I mean, a Puck is going to be okay, but I don't think it's going to be good against Disruptor. I really don't see like an offlaner that can guarantee survivability against a lineup of like Kunkka, Disruptor, Ogre.
You can pick Fist's Void and time walk away from the kinetic field. I think that's the best possible situation you might have, but even that seems kind of rough because you always get Glimpse back and X marks back, so it is a situation where I don't know if there's any offlaner that can actually survive against this.
I think it has to be like a... Oh, Juggernaut's not bad, actually. I do like that idea. He can avoid everything. Lightstealer or Juggernaut offlane would be really strong, but they go with the Doom.
Doom's going to get picked up.
I think he'll just start in the jungle. I really think like there's no point in going to the offlane.
They could just sack this lane and be okay with it, absolutely. I think that's fine. So, last pick for GOOMBA Gaming. They have 3 seconds left of reserve time. What are they going to grab here? They have the Kunkka, Disruptor, Brewmaster, Ogre. They need an offlaner more than likely. And up against Naga Siren, Scarth Mage, Dazzle. I'm not sure. That's a lot of damage.
Tide would be pretty good.
Yeah.
10 seconds remaining.
Anything that really just kind of fights with that AoE team fight that Kunkka is going to be bringing here. I like Magnus, but maybe the Skywrath is going to be too quick on the trigger for him. They go with this, so obviously we're seeing a different composition than what we expected.
Off lane, or maybe they might go aggro try, maybe into a Naga. Skywrath Dazzle seems kind of interesting.
I don't think it would be a good idea. The Dazzle's too good of a defensive support in this situation, but the alternative is sending a Brewmaster to the offlane, which we saw how that works out.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Brew Off. I'm going to be honest. It's not the best thing in the world, in my opinion. You could dual lane, I guess, and be somewhat okay.
Yeah, I could see that. Dual lane would not be too bad. Get an Ogre alongside the Brewmaster, you're not going to be able to kill him.
I mean, because they, like you said, they probably put, they put Doom in the jungle, or they sacked that lane for the most part. And then suddenly it becomes a bit more difficult to see what's happening. So I don't know. It's a kind of interesting. It's a bit of an interesting tidbit here. We don't know who's going where just yet for everybody, and that's going to be, I think, the most interesting part of this game is when we find out the lanes and who's going where. Because is it going to be dual lanes? So
I think it should. At least the Ogre should put some time in, clock in a little bit on the bottom lane. That'll help out quite a bit. We're going to see Exist make his move towards the mid lane and Roman make his way up top. So should be kind of the Disruptor and the Ogre moving where they're needed more than anything else. And at first they're going to be needed up top because it does look like Trixie wants to head to one of the hardest lanes to survive you can imagine. But beyond that, there's going to be a lot of potential to roam on the mid lane. The X mark is good no matter what lane you're in, and it's going to be difficult for the enemy mid laner, in this case the Naga Siren, to survive.
So it is Metamed going in the mid lane this time around. He went the safe lane last time, but nope, they're going to switch up the lanes a bit here, and they want Felix getting safe lane farm as well. And I have a feeling for 4AC this is going to be kind of a slow rolling lineup. They won't be able to get too much going on early with a Doom, with a Naga, and with a Storm even, so not much aggression from them. From GOOMBA, they might be dictating the pace of the play early on in this game. Otherwise, it's just going to be sit down, back off, farm for like an hour, and we'll see who comes down on top later on in the game.
Yeah. So passive from 4 Anchors. They're not going to take either bounty rune here. They might try to mess with Brewmaster a little bit, but he still gets the rune. That's the important thing. And getting 2 bounty runes at the start is pretty solid. It just shows how weak 4ASC's level 1 teamfight is, that they're not willing to go for either skirmish. And yeah, they're going to be going for a dual lane of their home. But Tumbaman Boofy on the mid lane here, it can be scary. I mean, you go for like 1-1-1 on Naga Siren, and that Dazzle does crazy good damage with the Shadow Wave. But once they're in this position, they're kind of committed to it, because Kunkka can turn things around pretty quickly.
They have to be very careful of Tidebringer. They'll probably deny a lot of the farm for Exist, but Tidebringer is going to be annoying. They'll spam Riptide, so lots of watery abilities being used. Ignite did go on Trixie. EDE hasn't skilled Glimpse yet. He could have used it there. They probably could have gotten the kill, but decided against it. And they just went to farm.
He's not going to have the Cold Snap or anything like that, so even if he gets Glimpse back, they still won't be able to do more damage than they already did, and he was only at like half health. So I say that he is probably going to be okay for now. It's when Disruptor hits level 2 and 3 that he starts having to be concerned. And I think it was smart for them to give Disruptor the bounty rune. They had a choice there among 3 heroes, and Disruptor getting early level so that he can go for like a 1-1-1 or a 0-2-1 or something like that would make it so they can actually net these kills.
Something that they have to keep in mind. They will have to get levels for EDE, so pulling in, I'm pretty sure he got the bounty rune. Yeah, he did. Yeah. So that makes it very easy for him to get up to level 2. It's not going to take many creeps, and I think that's the most important thing. The biggest change about those bounty runes is that the supports aren't going to be as underleveled if you get them those bounty runes. So we will see a reconnect here just to make it, as Exist had a bit of an issue. He paused, he disconnected. Ready whenever, says Trixie, and here we go. Back into the game. Unpause goes for Armin, the Invoker. Keep our eye on mid lane as Exist is getting zoned out. Keep our eye on the top lane as maybe Trixie goes down in the near future. But for now, safe lane Invoker versus the safe lane Storm Spirit. Velix is having a pretty good time. Invoker has more CS, but only by 1. And the biggest thing might be the safe lane or the mid lane Naga Siren. So
Brewmaster, with the help of that bounty rune, is going to be moving in towards level 3 very quickly. The level 1 Skywrath isn't able to do that much work against him, though he does take out the ward that was protecting him. So maybe if they get like a 3v1 play against the Brewmaster, they can bring him down. But for now, they're just going to harass him a bit. And he brought 2 sets of tangos, a salve, and a magic stick, as well as his ring of protection early. He knows what items he needs to actually survive here. Gosh, they're going to be stalking up the mid lane, hoping for a bottle or Courier Snipe, and it's not going to be coming anytime soon.
They're going to send the courier in mid, and then maybe it goes back and this direction. We'll wait and see.
No, I think the fact that they're maneuvering it such as this, they know the potential threat, and they're not going to let it go anywhere near.
It goes all the way around. They know that they're missing top, and there's absolutely no reason to play it, aggressively and just send it straight down the mid lane. So EDE and Gasha not able to find anything there, but they're going to roam in. They are looking for Gasha to ignite, maybe, but he just gets right-clicked down by Boofy. They're not even really cared. Summer Man backs up, and the clubs come out. Exist throws at a Tidebringer or two, but that's about it. And we continue onward here with just CS again. Of course, really, the top CSers early on this game is going to be indicative of who is going to be doing well in the later stages, assuming that everything stays equal, which is a big assumption.
Ooh, Invis rune. That's an important rune.
He would have been dead
that could have been a
otherwise.
kill the other way if, the Brewmaster requires that, but as it is, the Skywrath surviving for a suicidal play. If that was any ranged hero, they could deny the rune and then just kill the Skywrath, but as it is dual melee, they really don't have much option there, and in fact, the Skywrath is going to go in level 2, flanking onto Kunkka, and this could be your first blood. Yeah,
he's going in currently, and, well, they have Concussive Shot, they have Arcane Bolt, they're going to fly. There's the Poison Touch as well, stacking the slows, Riptide. There's the Shadow Wave, Mirror Image is going as well. The body blocks from the illusions, is it enough? X marks on an empty, he wants this kill. He might get it. Oh, just missed the timing coming up from the Invoker. Not that it matters, Gasha does get the kill. A 1-for-1 trade, but again, it will go 4 ASC's way with the first blood and killing Exist. Definitely benefits them.
Yeah, and this is kind of what I was talking about before. RMN loves to draft to put a lot on his shoulders, and these Sunstrikes combined with Glimpse and X-Mark is exactly what I mean by that. We're going to see one stun come through. There is going to be the X-Mark into the Torrent, onto 2. Boofy taking a lot of damage, no spells left. He will fall, and Gasha, with his tanky exterior, is going to be able to walk away.
Yeah, I mean, that's the issue with the Ogre. Any other hero and that guy's dead. And Gasha obviously is like, well, thank God I have 7 armor and I'm a stupid Ogre. Jesus. 700
stupid
HP.
Ogre.
No, I mean, listen, he is stupid. Just a dumb idiot freaking Ogre. I'm sorry to all you Ogre apologists out there. Meanwhile, Exist is going to get Arcane Bolted and Concussive Shotted and hey up into the high ground. And Summerman gets a double damage rune, by the way. Nymphy is coming in. He had more mana.
This is not happening. I don't know why they're
more mana.
So hard to this. They're going in under creep waves.
They're going to dive to the tower.
Wild.
I mean, Summerman's like, let me at him. I have a double damage rune. Let's get a kill. Come on, guys.
If the Poison Touch could get in range,
oh boy,
that's different. But that was just dumb.
Blown up. My God.
And here's the team
Man is dead as well. Here comes EDE. They get Glimpses out of mana.
They really messed
Mirror
this one up.
Images. Riptide is going to go. They have to find the right one. And they realize he is running away. The Fire Blast gets off barely from Gasha, and they get the right click with the Tidebringer from Exist, and some plays coming out from the squad of Goomba. They are now leading 4-1 because of 4 ASC's huge mistakes in this mid lane, and such action is going. It's ridiculous, man.
Yeah, that was completely unforced.
Bottom lane.
Just go in.
Chill. Ancient Seal. Clap. Is he going to kill Nymphy? Chill is going to live.
Oh.
And he has 6 armor. The Ring of Protection saving his life. Sunstrike? No way. I don't know where that was going. It was going for Valix.
The side chop volley.
Yeah, he's
still might go down. He's out of mana. He's pinned in. The Tango out, and it should be enough. They Fire Blast. The fog.
Fire Blast him! Fall. Get him, Gasha! He did it. Killing spree for the double-headed idiot. Ogre Magi's gonna back up. I want to clarify that I'm calling the Ogre. It's just a stupid hero. Gasha is quite the player, however. I see he's gotten a couple of kills. I'm not flaming Gasha by any means. So
fair enough. But yeah, I really don't know what that play in the mid lane was. Diving past the tower. If they get in range for Poison Touch, sure, that's a kill. But the Dazzle was nowhere near it. And his movement speed is only 5 greater than the Kunkka's, so I don't see why the Skywrath had to go that route and had to pursue as if he could, take the Kunkka from 80% to 0 by himself. It just was very awkward, and they feed away a lot with that good Disruptor rotation. So Edie's not doing too bad. Obviously, the Invoker has been doing some work, and now he's going 1 Forward Spirit at a time towards this Wild Wing camp. I'm curious about this jungling decision.
He maybe doesn't feel safe in lane currently. They have 2 heroes up top. Trixie's actually getting a lot out of this off lane. We thought that the jungle was going to be for him. He's going to have a stack here. He's going to pull the creep wave. And that is going to mean that they are going to... Oh, no, never mind. I thought that creep wave would have worked. I'm not sure why he didn't just pull it in this direction. But that's okay. Regardless, They will still be able to get some CS here, and Trixie is just fine. They are getting solo experience for EDE, and I think that's the reason why you have maybe Armada the jungle is because they want that level 6 quickly for the Disruptor, and he's getting there soon. So
the two reasons would be you can Sunstrike from Fountain for free, and he was going to be going there pretty soon anyways, and the Disruptor does get those much-needed levels. But Armin eventually rotates up there, and they're going to have to try to make use of this level 5. They can go Cold Snap, Sunstrike, and Forge Spirit under maybe a Glimpse Kinetic Field, and that would be a kill, but we've got 2 up here, so Dazzle might put a wrench in the works.
Yeah, he obviously has that point in the grave, so Trixie can just stay alive, and he has Doom, by the way. Arcanes as well for Trixie, so I mean, they're ready to fight. Scorched Earth is going to go. Nice kinetic field coming out. Poison Touch does get off from Boofy and EDE, but there's the Tornado coming in. Glimpse back out as well, and there's no way they can continue that pursuit. They have to back up. Boofy and Trixie just saying, let's just chill for a second. Speaking of chill, Chill is going to split the bottom lane. Valix is not going to have to ball it anyway. Still has plenty of mana to work with here. He should be able to get out. He's going to get Cyclone first, but maybe a Boulder Toss is going to hit. But what is this actually going to do? Nothing really.
Yeah, awkward coming in. And he's still here. Like, why is he still here? Because he's out of mana.
Chill, what are you?
Okay, I'm not even gonna comment on that one because I'd just be too mean.
I'm not sure what you were thinking about there, Chill, but you got doomed. And Trixie says, "Thank you very much for the free meal. I will absolutely take a kill." Although it does go to Valix picking it up, so he helps out his teammate, but.
Dota 2 is a game where you weigh the option between risk and reward. That was 0% reward. There was no way that did anything for you other than waste like half of Storm's mana pool. That was just, no.
If you're Goomba, if you're on Goomba Squad, you might be flaming him in team chat. You're like, I don't know what that was about, dude. Can you not feed away underneath the tower? That's a rough decision to make, obviously. Maybe he thought he could have gotten the kill. Maybe he thought he had backup. Regardless, they're going to try to go on him again. He has no split. They have Ancient Seal. Doom is still down for a period of time. Not that it matters. Trixie could come in with a Pack Leader Zora and absolutely help out. Top lane, though. Glimpse going back in Static Storm. Boofy is going to fall here. An ultimate used, but they get the kill, so it's certainly worth it.
Yeah. I think maybe he was trying to go for Nymphy with the split and then saw how quickly he ran away and was like, okay, Storm's my only option, even though that really isn't an option. But the diving tower thing was pretty silly. Up top, of course, getting the hero kill means they get some good tower damage, but even with the Forge Spirits, or Forge Spirit I should say, as he's going for a 2-1-3 build, yeah, it's not really going to be dying very, very quickly. And yeah, what do you think about this skill build, man? I mean, 404 is the pretty standard, tried and true. You want a little bit of everything, because then you can go 4-1-4 immediately after and have 2 Forge Spirits and some Wex skills. But he already has all 10 spells available, just not that strong.
Song doesn't matter. From the heavens, the Sunstrike blows him up so much. He got the song off, and now that's down for 180 seconds. Going back to the skill build, by the way, that you were talking about.
Yeah.
I think, honestly, you need to be using Alacrity for this to be worth it. Like, there's absolutely... I guess he had a point in Wex for Ghost Walk if maybe he was getting ganked, but you honestly, a death is better than skilling up a point in Wex if you're just using it for Ghost Walk. So you have to make use of Alacrity here for it to be worth it. Otherwise, you're just kind of putting... You're putting yourself at a disadvantage with that skill build. So
I think he's throwing out a couple tornadoes to try to hold people in position, but they have so many other tools for positioning control. I mean, they've got a Kunkka, a Disruptor, the Ogre's been doing work. It really just seems a bit superfluous.
I don't know about it, but I'm not sold, and I'm not gonna make any judgments yet based on his skill. But he has some Midas as well, so I mean that's another thing you have to consider is that he can get back in those Quas and Exhort levels quickly. So that shouldn't be that big of an issue, assuming he uses his Midas off cooldown. And he's still up there in terms of net worth. Surprisingly, Valix is the one leading the way. He does have this Oblivion Staff, so it looks like he will be going for the standard Orchid first build, probably into a Bloodstone. That is the build that everyone has been going for on Storm Spirit, and for good reason. It gives you plenty of mana regeneration, ganking potential as well. You need the Orchid, otherwise you're not going to be doing any damage early on in this game. So.
Yeah. The only other thing I'm thinking of is maybe Armen just wants to leave 2 Quals for the rest of the game. Like, go for Max Exhort into Wex, stop casting Forge Spirit, stop casting, and probably anything other than Cold Snap as far as Qual spells, because Wexort is, it has something to it. You just need the Quals for the landing stage.
Alacrity and Meatball are both really good abilities. You could even get a Deafening Blast off in there. I forget, what does Quas give you for Deafening Blast? Is it stun duration?
It's a stun and knockback.
Okay, that's what I thought. So, I mean, you can even use Deafening Blast as well. What gives you the range on Deafening Blast, or is it always one?
No, it's a disarm duration.
Okay.
For the Deafening.
It's so hard to keep. It's so hard to keep track of these spells, man. Like, especially like Quas, Wex, Exhort. You have to figure out what each ability
each
does.
Element,
yeah,
affects it. And they modified that a bit for like Tornado and stuff like that. So
yeah.
You have to keep tab on the updates.
I know Wex is Tornado length, I believe, and then Quas is Tornado damage. I'm pretty sure.
Well, it was that, and then they made it so that it is just Wex's damage. It used to be Quas did some damage, Wex did some damage. Now it's the lift time from Quas, the travel distance from Wex. It's
crazy. A weird. Invoker's just another dumb hero, but in a good way. I don't know. X marks the spot's gonna go. Torrent, there's gonna be the boat as well. But Tubman, can he get the song off? Even if he does, he's dead. They threw like 4 abilities at him and comboed it perfectly. That was actually beautiful to watch. X marks Torrent, boat, Sunstrike, easy kill coming out. Although Valix will get the tier 1 tower bottom while this is all happening.
Yeah, it's just like the earth crumbling around him. Like everything was heaped upon his head, and you just don't. There's nothing you can do in that situation. You're like, guys, they're out of cooldowns, but unfortunately, this isn't a team that really like capitalizes on those opportunities.
You say like, space created, and then you're like, oh, I'm a Naga Siren.
Shit. So. Yeah, exactly. And then you're like, oh, okay, team, what are you doing with this space? Well, I'm getting a few more Devours off, I guess, as Doom.
On the backside, there looks to be a fight breaking out. Boofy walks into 2 heroes. Static Storm right onto 2. Valix is going to come in. It's going to be 1-for-1 exchange, it looks like, as the dust settles here. Gosh, you get out of there, buddy. That is the longest range snare I've ever seen. Sunstrike, it is going to hit, and maybe no, but Tubman avoids it. That could have been bad.
Yeah, it's just a weird position for them to be in now, because the Naga's going to be a long while off her Radiance, and yeah, they're playing purely defensive. I mean, that's okay, but you're a Storm Spirit that your pick is intended to find opportunities to jump in and to get kills. But for now, it's just safely farm last hits to get the Orchid to get those kills. Tools for the job, I suppose.
Smoke of Deceit up in the top lane. Trixie's he's itching. He hasn't used this Doom in a while, and he wants to use it now. And top lane is where they want to go. The Invoker is a prime target again. He has Invoke ready. Quas Wex could be invoked up at any point in time. It's Ghost Walk for those of you that don't know. Ancient Seal. There's the Doom. Nope, you're not getting Quas Wex now, my friend. Mystic Flare does most of the damage. They cancel the TP, and RMN dies to Trixie's Doom and his Scorched Earth. On the backside, they were roaming in with Gasha and Viz, but there's a Sentry Ward here, so if he walked up to the high ground, he would have just died. Good stuff.
I mean, the Skywrath is out of mana, so maybe not. But it's still like they feel a little bit impotent right now unless they're roaming to kill the Naga. That's like where everything clicks, right?
Yes.
It's essentially just like, oh, this is our main point of focus. This is where we commit at just about everything. And so far, it has absolutely destroyed Tubman's momentum when you compare his current farm to what he had last game.
Well, the thing is, I would say that, like, it's huge that they're ganking the Naga Siren, and it's almost, like, it's fine that they're losing everybody else, but it's actually not, because you have this Storm Spirit who's starting to take over this game, and that's going to be an issue. You have Doom who's going to be getting a couple of items soon. He's already up to 2,000 gold, probably getting a Blink Dagger next or something, so if it was just the Naga, I'd say that's perfect. They are losing heroes, but they're getting the prime target. But they don't really need Tubman for another 15, 20 minutes because Valix and Trixie are going to take over this game. And for GOOMBA, what are you getting out of this? You have Armad, who's farmed up somewhat. It's Midas and 1,000 gold, and then, I mean, Exist is going for a Battle Fury, so at least they have that.
Yeah, no, I mean, you're absolutely right. Right now, Trixie's going to take some damage here. Tries to get out of the Static Storm at least to destroy some damage, to get rid of some damage, but in the end, he still falls. The Song of Siren, I don't know if this is setting up for anything. No weave, really. It's all Volix going onto Edie.
He's going to try to get this kill. Vortex is going to go. Oh, big multi-cast coming out. Actually, just the Fire Blast. There is the Torrent. They do take down one. Now Valix has to get away. There's going to be the Silence up on the Chill. Doesn't matter. They blow up 2 heroes, one of them being the Doom.
Their initiation, and they're losing their cores for supports.
Yeah, right now he is going to die. Wow, that was an awful fight for 4ASC. Just not good. Really good Gasha play coming out, Fire Blasting, making sure Volix didn't get involved, and Exist coming in on the backside. Chill actually had split, but no mana for it. He got it silenced up for the most part of that engagement, but now he's ready to go. So they'll be able to take this Tier 1 tower and keep going if they want to, although Doom is available. if they want to use it.
Radiant's top tower
I
has
think the
fallen.
main thing to look at here is just how damn tanky Goomba's lineup is. I mean, you've got Kunkka, you've got Ogre, and you've got Brew, already pretty beefy. The Invoker has a self-Eul, so he can at least survive through a couple of ability casts, and you've got this Ghost Ship. So Kunkka's roam goes over top, everybody's taking half damage. These strength heroes just won't die for the entire duration of Kunkka's roam. And I obviously 4 rankers aren't even a lineup that really has that much damage. Storm Spirit amplifies damage really nicely, but okay. Blink Clap, kill on the Dazzle, and not even getting the chance to use the Shallow Grave thanks to the Eul's Sunstrike combo.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was about to talk about. That he went for the Eul's Sunstrike combo, which is something we see occasionally, but I'm excited to see it now. It should be pretty good for our men. It definitely allows for solo kills. He's able to combo up by himself, and it also sets up for other things. Torrent, Disruptor, Kinetic Field, Static Storm could be plopped down on top of it. It's they've got a lot to work with here in terms of the Eul Scepter, so I like the choice coming out for the Invoker.
Yeah, still confused about his skill build since he did end up going back for the
Went
4 quads.
Sword, yeah.
Whatever. Chill's going to find an opportunity here onto Volix. The Sunstrike's not going to do anything. If there was an Orca here, this could be an interesting exchange, but instead it's just a TP away, and they go on to Exist, popping the Doom, popping the ultimate, and he will be denied.
Yep. Nice play up in the air now, the Eul Scepter, and they cancel the TP, but where's the follow-up? Chill has to split now, and he just gets the mana to do so. Now there's going to be a Static Storm. Trixie is going to fall. Big turnaround coming out from the Disruptor. They pick off the Skyrath Mage as well as the Brewlings go to work. They're looking for more. They've got the Cyclone onto Buffy. They're going to body block him. They're going to throw up the Boulder Toss. Boofy doesn't have Brave for 30 seconds. Sunstrike! Boom! They get him with the Armed, getting the double kill. They're going to look for more. Valix is going to Storm Spirit, Ball Lightning in occasionally. Back off as well. Glimpse back out, though.
Oh,
Kinetic Field, he is out of mana. There's the Ice Wall. Multi-cast from Gasha. And Goomba are outplaying 4ESC despite them having a very solid lineup.
Yeah, I mean, the Naga is going to be able to maybe take this Tier 2 bottom, has been pushing on it for quite some time, but having to Song out here, and the fact is, she didn't get the Tier 2. Like, she's not going to have her Radiance off of the farm that she got from the bottom lane. She's not taking the actual tower itself. And the micro from Chill, they really redeemed himself. Like, he was able to maneuver the Wind Panda to follow the target that he wanted to Tornado while focusing the other two on damaging the one that was left behind. So he was able to really keep his focus on the targets that he really wanted to cast those spells on, and he was able to pretty much win in that fight. The Glimpse is just a cherry on top. Like, they didn't even need the Storm to call that a victory, but getting that Glimpse, oh, so insane. I'm
going to say right now that I think Dazzle and your Disruptor are going to be supports that are going to be picked a lot in the next couple of weeks. I honestly think that those two heroes are very good, especially with the heroes that are in the current metagame. Puck, who is kind of slippery in his own right. Storm Spirit, he's going to get caught out a lot. And honestly, I really like these choices. And now, Goomba have played in a very effective game. They're actually showing everybody that they could stand toe-to-toe with some of the best. 4ASC is considered, I think, one of the top-tier teams, at least top-tier up-and-coming teams. And Exist and company are going to work. Exist has his Battle Fury now. RMN is starting to get really farmed with the Eul Scepter bots coming out as well. And Naga is not close. I mean, she does get a bit of gold. I guess she had like 2,400 when I saw her bottom. She's up to 3,300 now, so she's a bit closer. Still going to be like a 21 to 22 minute radiance, though.
Yep, so still, it's not as good as she'd want it to be. But overall, as this game goes longer, the 4ASC is going to be pretty happy because there's the Devour and the Midas on the Doom, so Trixie just continuously infuses himself with gold, and obviously the Naga Siren is about to just really amp up her GPM with this Radiance pickup and just 200 gold. So that's all well and good for 4 rankers, but I think Goomba is going to try to end this game within the next 10 minutes. They've got the Roche going down quickly. They've got this Vlad's Brewmaster, so they can jump in and do a lot of damage. And as we mentioned, Exist is getting really farmed. Like, he's got that Battle Fury, and they're not stacking for him. If you go Battle Fury to do one of two things, to absolutely destroy an entire team, or to farm very, very quickly. In this case, the Ancients aren't stacked, and that means he's going for the hero kills. We're going for the push down bottom.
You can guess what's going to happen next. Is Goomba are going to head bottom, like you mentioned. And the thing is, there's this timing where I think 4AC have to get PKBs. And until that happens, Goomba are just going to take every single fight. Static Storm is going to blow up a lot of these heroes.
Yeah.
They won't be able to get out of it. The only person I think that is building a BKB on the side of 4AC is Trixie. And he's not very close. Unless he has something on the courier, he does not. He has an Ogre Club and 650 gold. That is it. And luckily, they are split pushing the tier 2 tower, so they might get a tower for a tower trade here. There is going to be some TP rotations. Chill has Blink and Split ready to go. Velox might ball lightning away. Will do so. And silence up onto Chill. Exist is looking for more. He has a haster, and he's going to look for an X-Marks. Velox is going to try to maybe TP out here. And there he goes. And they actually just jukes them very well. That was a nice juke coming out from the Storm Spirit. But still, if I'm in Goomba's position, I'm happy. We just need to finish this game off, like you said, and get these towers down.
Yeah, pretty happy to be in the current position, but I'm still kind of dreading what's around the corner. Like, if they don't actually do something with the next 6 or 7 minutes, then I could see some real problems in their future. We've seen what Matumba Man could do on this Naga, and there is still tons of comeback potential, despite being pretty far behind in gold and experience. I mean, Doom, Trixie, he's going to have a BKB or an Axe pretty soon. You said the BKB was of great import against the Disruptor and the Brewmaster, and I completely agree with that, so we'll see that coming through for him. And Volix, he goes for the Soul Ring, so maybe opting for Bloodstone over BKB, though that certainly has its drawbacks.
Volix right now sitting in the bottom lane, has his Orchid up and ready to go, but he hasn't really used it to great effect. That is a 22-minute Aghanim Scepter for Gasha and the Ogre Magi. If this game wasn't hard before, it's certainly hard now for 4ASC. Holy crap. Well, that's not good.
Yep, but right now they're not forcing the issue, and the creep cutting is going to be allowing Matumba Man to make it more and more difficult for them to push. Right now it's a farming game, and we'll have to maybe see a pickoff play from Exist before they're really confident to go in. Now, it is worth noting that he has not only that Battle Fury, but now a Blink Dagger, so he can either Blink X somebody to catch them completely out of position, or he can X himself, blink forward, and just do whatever the heck he wants, only for it to snap him back at the right time, and him putting himself at absolutely no risk.
And the thing is, yeah, careful, it's going to be an 8-second duration in terms of him being with that X marks the spot, so that's something that you have to keep in mind. And just, I mean, Exist knows the timing. He'll be careful for the most part. They're going to try to take down, they're going to knock down all these tier 2 towers, and there you go. He's got to blink forward like you mentioned. Clear the creep wave. X marks back in just a moment here, and even if they try to ensnare him, it wouldn't matter. He's just going to sit back behind. Yeah, this is really smart. He's going to keep doing this, I think, especially when his blink is up and ready to go.
Yeah, he's got his little life preserver on. He's like going out into the waters, and he's just like...
Arman with a huge Yule Scepter stays alive. Blink forward, Drunken Haze, Velox. Do they have a glimpse back? X marks first and foremost. Now the Tide, or Torrent rather, going in. They're going to brave him up. He's going to try to TP, but the glimpse goes in. He cannot get out. Ball lightning again, but he's dead. It was a good effort from Boofy, but they do get the kill. However, a lot of rotations forced as the top tier 2 tower is getting split pushed. 4AC making the right decisions, trying to just spread Goomba thin here. Arman TP's up. He is very low. Trixie has Blink Dagger. He's looking for him. He almost got the level death off. He was close to range, but not able to do so. Now the Ignite coming in. They're looking for Fire Blast. Range. There's one. Multicast 3 times. Now the Ancient Steel Mystic Flare, but they destroy him with the Meatball. Look at that damage from Arman. The point in Wex is starting to help out here, although he does have Max Exhort. Sunstrike, they miss on Nemphy. He's going to TP. He canceled! He canceled the TP coming through. Arman Yule's up. Boofy's caught out of position. They're maybe going to get 2 kills here. Stick back up for Gasha. He's out of range of the Fire Blast. Ignite's not up for another 3 seconds. Bloodlust. He will have Ignite in just a couple of seconds. Good tree usage there from Nemphy to juke his way out, but still going to die regardless. And now you're wondering if maybe canceling his TP was a mistake. More than likely it was. 3 dead. And they're looking for more. As you can see, Exist is looking for Matumba in the mid lane.
Oh, this
gets
is
the
not
song
good.
off.
He can't BOTs for 4 seconds here. Think he can go now. The Glimpse, though, canceling it out. Beautiful combo between the X and the Glimpse, and he just can't get away. They get one more spell off, and he's gone. There's the X, and they're going to be able to run him down.
Wow, what a torrent from Exist to put it forward. The X marks was here. The torrent was here. Walk into that position, and you're dead. So nice play coming up from Exist. They didn't need it. It was just kind of a style play, and they finish off that Naga Siren. So 6-23. I'm not sure the last time 4AC have gotten a kill here. It looks like it was at 15 minutes.
Yeah, that's
10 minutes ago.
A support pick off 10 minutes ago.
10 minutes ago, man. Wow.
And then, of course, we see Exist just going back to his fountain, doing the X-Mark trick so that he can just refill, bottle up, and be full HP once again. Anytime he has a TP scroll, he's pretty much got the full restoratives. Not that he needed it, as the Aegis expires and he gets his full HP man anyways, but nice Sunstrike plays. There is actually the Skywrath. I don't even know what brought him this low. I'll check the combat log, but yeah, he actually is limping back from the base. And how much pure damage does that do anyways? Right now it is up to 475. So
that is a lot of damage.
Significant chunk of health.
Yeah. And all of a sudden, all their tier 2 towers are starting to fall. The tier 1 mid is going to take a spill. Tier 1 top's still alive, full health, thankfully.
It literally was just creeps. He tanked like 2 or 3 creep waves, and he dies to Sunstrike in the base. That's sad.
It's like, that's one of those times when you're like, I wish I had enough money to buy a Stout Shield so that this doesn't happen. Obviously, like, Stout Shield and a support, you're not going to see it too often.
Yeah.
But
or just not run into 3 creep waves.
Or that, or just don't do that.
You have literally 0 armor at level 9.
It's like, guys, I don't have a Stout Shield. I'm actually just dead. TP is canceled as the range creep was dying. TP back home from Trixie as he has bots, I believe. No, he just has regular TP and Arcane Boots. His BKB is done now, 26 minutes in, so that could be the tide turner if they could get a Doom off and have him just kind of go to work with his BKB. But what about this Axe progression on Disruptor? He picked up the gem instead, so EDE is definitely very far away from an Aghanim Scepter. He is 3 components, which means 3,000 gold, and
I mean, the only thing that would be stopping right now, anyways, is the BKB from the Doom. Like, everybody else is still, they have no items they really want to activate. So, it is still a nice way to empower your ultimate, but it's not a must-have thing at this point in the game. It's much better when the Storm picks up his BKB.
Chill gets jumped on. There's going to be the Orc Malevolence going to work, but there's absolutely no follow-up. And Chill just backs away, says, okay, let's fight.
They're
Bots
following
in,
up.
coming
BOT's
out.
up. He's got the Yules, he's got the Hex, he's going.
Tornado's going in right now. They're going to catch out Velix. He gets hexed up as well before he can ball lightning, but where's the follow-up? They need more damage. Sunstrike, is it going to connect? No, TP's away. There's the song going in. They couldn't chase any further. Matuma Man, uh-oh. It might have been worth it for Velix to die. Yeah. You are instead dead, my friend. Matuma Man is going to buy his Yasha before it goes down.
Glimpsing back the BOTs once again, just always in the position he needs to be, even without a Blink Dagger. It's just completely counteracting what Naga Siren's meant to do, which is survive anytime she has her ultimate.
And it's another killer scenario for 4ASC. They lose Matuma Man yet again. He has 6 deaths to his name. Not the best time despite having 216 CS. He's sitting at bots, Radiance, and a Yasha at 28 minutes into the game. When you get to about 30 minutes, you'd like to be close to 6-Lot, and at this point, he's nowhere near that. Exist is going to get doomed up. This could be the target they're looking for. The pull in, and Exist is going to fall. Finally, they get a kill. Trixie even pops his BKB. EDE getting chased down. That kinetic field's not going to do much. Trixie actually walks away from it. He doesn't want to deal with it. Blinks out. And
do you think that was a misclick, or that was a weird BKB in my mind?
Yeah, I don't know if he needed that. Maybe he thought the fight was actually going to break out as EDE walked in, but...
Yeah, it could be a preemptive thing, but he definitely didn't benefit from it in any capacity. So, unfortunately, losing the 10-second charge, but still, at least they get the kill. Like, we were talking about how long it's been since they've actually gotten a kill. Finally, they do put one more on the board.
Well, I mean, that kill is a big one as well. It's Exist, who is farming up to a Daedalus. Blink, Daedalus, Battle Fury could be game-ending at this point if they get a big crit.
At that point, you start, like, piling up the rapiers. Like, why not?
And just go toe-to-toe and try to take down the base at some point in time. They could wait for the next Roshan, which, by the way, is max duration. That's a bit frustrating for GOOMBA, to be sure. If that was, you know, an early duration Roshan, they could have that Aegis up and ready to go, and they could just choke out Matuma Man and his squad, so... He does have his Yasha now, 1,000 gold in the bank. He'll head to the enemy jungle. Blink Dagger done for the Invoker, who, by the way, has Blink, Yules, Hex, Midas, Gem, Bots. The Gem he didn't purchase up, but it still is on his person. He is farmed, man.
Yep, so we're going to be seeing Aghanim's progression for Doom. We're going to be seeing Bloodstone progression for Volix. They'll try to get there, but they're just so far off. The big thing here is Matuma Man takes so much gold off the map with his aura farming.
Top lane, Trixie TPing away. There's the glyph going in. Tornado not really hitting. Except on Matuma Man. Well, that's the big target that they wanted.
Death you cannot afford.
Kinetic Field, Static Storm do work again. Exist does get the kill there with the right click, and they're still chasing. Velix is just going to ball lightning TP away and make sure he gets out scot-free.
This is a 1-7 carry Naga Siren. Really bad news for AC. They're relying so much on him just surviving.
He's still also second in net worth. That's the crazy thing.
Oh, that's just Naga Siren things, I suppose.
I mean, that shouldn't happen, I think.
Yeah, I mean, again, if it was Kunkka's ancient farming, like if he was actually stacking heavily, like he could clear out a Quint stack in, I don't know, what's Tidebringer's cooldown? 4 seconds, so he could probably clear it out in like 12 to 16 seconds. Like, the cleave on Kunkka and the ability to farm up ancient camps is absolutely absurd, and that's something they're not really capitalizing on. So I guess that's why, like, the Kunkka is trailing behind the Naga despite her death. But just in general, it's still the Naga being able to farm so much just with the illusions alone.
Existed chill, walk hand in hand as they move up towards the mid lane. Mid lane is getting pushed in. Some Forge Spirits are going to knock on the tower, and they do very little damage and then die. And I'm surprised. I think that GOOMBA maybe could have gotten to the base and actually tried to initiate somehow, but top lane is always getting pressure that they don't really have the room to work with. They're going to try to go on Valix here. Multicast, Sunstrike. It is going to hit, but Valix is going to live. If they had gotten a multicast coming out from Gasha with one of those Fire Blasts, he dies, I'm sure, so...
Well, finally the rush comes out. They've been camping the pit for a good 30 seconds here, and finally they will be able to bring it down. No contest from 4 ASC. And, yeah, I mean, with this Aegis, do you think that they're going to be able to end the game? I kind of feel like they almost have to, as the things start getting more stable for the 4 AC.
I mean, especially if Exist gets a Daedalus, there's no reason to not try to finish this game off. The only thing they can do is make sure that top is pushed out. If top is pushed in considerably with these illusions, then all of a sudden it becomes much more frustrating to try to end this game. Because that's the lane that still has the tier 2 tower. And you want to be able to take that last tier 2 tower. They want to be able to push into that lane maybe specifically, but I think that the split push from 4 AC is very good. So it comes down to whether or not they defend the top lane or if they just ball up and push mid, which I don't think they're waiting for any other items here. I mean, you have your BKB for your Brewmaster, you have everything you possibly need for your Invoker, you have an Aghanims on your Ogre Magi, Exist is just as Daedalus away, and that's it. I don't know what else you wait for here.
I mean, ideally you have a pipe for your creep wave, just so the Radiance doesn't absolutely destroy it, but that's not coming anytime soon, so you might as well just step on the gas.
I like this play coming out from Armen. He was looking for somebody top lane as he was ghost walked up. He was kind of baiting something, but Valix might be the one baiting as he is sitting here on the backside. By the way, he's going Lincolns. He might be about to ball lighting in. Decides to back off. Okay.
Yeah, actually, that was a huge miscall on my part. Soul Ring and Perseverance, that was the component that replaced the other component of Bloodstone. They don't work together in any real way. So it's a casual Soul Ring that will build up into Lincoln Sphere.
And there's the Manta now done for the Nagasar. And Heart of Trask, and maybe this game gets more difficult for GOOMBA to finish off. Pushing into a Heart, Manta, Radiance Naga is not easy, so... Again, there's this timer coming out from GOOMBA that I feel like they need to hit, and they're not hitting it currently. No. Well, that depends. If they ball up and go down mid, they might hit it.
Yep, I think they were waiting for the Conquer Data list. It is coming out on the courier now, and this is go time for them. They've got plenty of Aegis to work with.
Song was just used for...
Whoa. Yeah.
Armen was getting the Naga kill down bottom, and Song was forced out just for her to TP away. And now with Song down... I don't know if you wait any longer. Daedalus is now completed like you talked about. Armen can bots mid in 20 seconds. He can split push bottom. Top lane is getting split pushed. But
it's a really good point, because I mean the Song, like at level 16 you don't care about the cooldown, but now it's actually immense that they don't have it for 85 seconds now. And they could have put a level 2 weave on this Song of the Siren to completely destroy any push into their base, but as it stands, they really don't have anything to hold them off, except for maybe some really good illusion play, and right now that's on cooldown too. So I think, yeah, bottom lane push should be pretty clean and clear, and the Dazzle can't really threaten the tier 3s as much as he'd like to.
They will TP back with Armen, and he can bots in at about 40 some odd seconds here. Ball lightning in, Valix, there's the Yule Scepter, it is going to be under the Dazzle, and Tornado's going to go through. Gasha will look to find him. Fire Blast. He'll probably save the other one for TP. And Boofy should fall here. He's just going to resign himself to his death. And that does mean that you have to back away if you're down bottom. If you're ED and chill, you have to wait for the rest of your squad to get there.
This is really non-standard Invoker play. Oh, bottom. Wow, they're actually going to get a chance to go and chill here. And it is going to be at the cost of Skywrath Mage's life.
Well, he is going to get doomed up and chill going down. Ball lightning all the way for EDE. Ags is finished up now for the Doom. And if you're a GOOMBA, I don't know why you just don't wait for the rest of your team. You got 5v3'd there. 5v2'd even. I'm
not sure if a smoke was popped and no one was purchased on the Skywrath, but they really caught them off guard. And I guess it's because it's a Dire Observer. It doesn't really give all that much vision to the lower half of the bottom lane, and they could just walk right by it, and they were just pushing. So I think it was a pretty big mistake. But either way, yeah, time is bought. Nagasarn might indeed have the Diffuser Blade if she decides to buy out for it. And like I was saying, I think that Armen is running something very unique with this Invoker. Like, he's going around with, like, Forge Spirit Tornado, and now Forge Spirit Ghostwalk. Like, it's just, I mean, quick cast because the Invoke is down to 5 seconds now. But generally speaking, like you see with this Yule's Blink Hex opening, that you just want to go immediately for the Sunstrike Meteor Deafening Blast.
The good old combo coming out from the Invoker, but no, not right now anyway. Maybe in a team fight, we'll see. So, now push into, of course, this bottom lane with Exist. Battle Fury. Daedalus phase, he's going to just destroy one of these solutions quickly. Lincoln Sphere is now completed, but every couple of seconds you can just X marks that off, so that's something they'll have to be careful of.
No buyback at all on the 4 Anchor side. Maybe the Doom gets a kill and he'll have enough gold for it, but everybody else is pretty far off here, buying out for the Lincoln Sphere on the Storm.
Felix is doing the good old Eternal MV style of play where he Ball Lightning's in, Ball Lightning's out, clears the creep wave, and just kind of goes from there, so...
Yeah, but you're just one like quick static storm or something from that actually completely screwing you over and backfiring, so... You have to watch the Disruptor's cast in particular.
Yeah, I think if you X marks and glimpse, one of those two abilities will kill him.
Or at least the Scythe. Like, RMN has pretty quick item cast.
Oh, we'll have to wait and see. X marks from Exist. He's got to go up and push the creep wave. Radiance Burn is doing a decent bit of damage. The Naga Illusion actually just blows this up. And
they're trying to bait top lane. They want one person to TP up so they can just doom him and take him out.
Two people are going to TP up. 4 staff away from Nymphy actually avoids any sort of aggression. Exist cannot blink in because of the concussive shot, and it was on cooldown as well.
No, they go for the Doom.
There's the Doom on EDE, and no deny. That was an Ags anyways. He was going to die regardless of what happened.
Gosh, they get to spread the map down bottom.
This is prime play from 4AC. Good base holding. They could actually take this game in like 20, maybe less than 20 minutes, honestly, if they just keep playing the way they are.
Yeah, the best defense is a good offense. Just keep on putting pressure elsewhere. Force them to make a difficult decision. Although they definitely couldn't win in a raw base race right now, it doesn't matter because GOOMBA know that even trading evenly and losing racks for racks is a loss for them. They have the advantage right now on the map, and to even gives them the chance to take the tier 3 feels like a failure to them. So they play defensively, they defend it, but eventually they have to commit to something or this game's going to get out of hand.
Slowly and steadily, 4AC are climbing in the net worth graph. They're getting back up to a 6,000 deficit, and maybe they'll get back to even at some point in time if they continue to do what they're doing. Top lane, they are going for a rotation. Whether or not they kill RMN remains to be seen. Doom is down for 38 seconds, so probably not anytime soon. Tier 2 tower is low in deny range even, and no one's going for it currently. It's just sitting in no man's land. Top lane, again, this is what I'm talking about. Will they go in? They throw up the tornado, actually, and RMN spots out Nymphy, so they know that he's here, but they're not going to chase after him. RMN is just going to back away from himself as well.
They need the Doom, otherwise he can do so many different things to get out of that. Like, he has the self-heals for the silence, he can throw up a bunch of disabling abilities, and they're not going to be able to single him out. So, end of the day, the creep waves are all pushed out in favor of 4ASC right now, and that means that that is just going to be another Roche cycle that has to be waited for GOOMBA. We'll see the timer in about 40 seconds here, but any amount of time where this game is stretched out favors 4 Anchors, and we're going to see maybe like a heart on Nagasiren next. Could go for Lincoln's herself, but I think more often the Storm just wants to put that buff on the Nagasiren so she can go for the Song TP.
And down bottom, TP's rotating through from GOOMBA. Again, still in deny range. They haven't denied it yet. Regardless, that's fine. I mean, you're right. I mean, as long as this game goes further, it's going to be Nagasiren getting big. And Heart of Trask certainly seems to be the next big item. She'll probably save for buyback as well. She does have level 3 ultimate, by the way, so... she is sitting now at level 17. There is arrow draw on mid. They're just trying.
He's playing so safe with this X mark. They want him so bad, but I honestly think that what we're going to see here with this next 1 minute Roche respawn is either an Aegis snipe from a Tumbleman using the Song of the Siren, or if GOOMBA can take the Aegis, they're going to go for a Rapier Gambit and just give Kunkka the Aegis and the Rapier and try to make things happen.
I mean, you don't want to wait any further if you are GOOMBA. There's no real reason to. Trixie's going to roam in with a Smoke of Deceit. He's not popped yet. Exist still walks down in the mid lane. They could have doomed him. Probably would have gotten the kill because of Aghanim Scepter, but Tier 2 tower does fall. The Illusions do take care of it. And now there are creeps in the base here. You can see Chill jumping in, collapse up on Matumba Man, trying to force out a song. No such luck there. Exist coming through. He's going to hit up with his Tidebringer. They're going to keep going with the Battle Fury as well. X marks now up onto Armor. He's got to pop the Alacrity, go to the base, and yeah, this is a smart play, and he just gets X marks back. It's just that simple.
Yeah, so the slow siege is fine, but again, top lane is being pressured, and somebody wants to farm that out. Somebody wants to push that back, but every time they retreat, It's at like 4 minutes being bought of time for.
They found Trixie.
AC.
He's going to get hexed up. This could be the beginning of something. He's going to BKB, zoom up onto RMN. If he dies, he's going to take RMN with him. RMN will more than likely be denied.
Is there anything that stops BKB TP? That seems like an easy out for him, but at least they killed the Invoker.
I don't think so.
Yeah, he could have. I mean, obviously he wanted to kill the Invoker, and that's, I guess, a good trade. But it's an easy out just to BKB TP home.
Disruptor, glimpse back, Static Storm, and looks like they will catch on to Velix. No, actually, EDE is getting the one caught. And Snare is going to go on to Exist. Exist is in some trouble, but there's the multicast. Gosh, is the one doing work. The Brewling's going as well. Boulder toss him a Man. They want to chase him down. Invoker buys back. Bots is in onto a Brewling. He's going to hex up Man as well. He does get the kill onto Exist with his illusions, and Man is going to get multicasted down. He does have buyback, though. Goomba, it's a 2-for-3 trade, I believe. Actually, 3-for-3 because of the buyback coming out from Armen the Invoker. And the buyback as well from Velix on the Storm Spirit. So, that's kind of a weird situation. They're going to go for Roshan. There is no Nagata song and try to take this. Armen probably could do a lot of right-click damage and enough to be able to take this Rosh with Forge Spirits.
Yeah, he's going to be able to do it. The Alacrity is going to help out a ton as well, and he's going to get the Aegis, which he needs to kind of back up the fact that he just bought back into this game. So, I mean, the buyback is great. It puts a lot of people in the grave that can't do anything for themselves right now, so it is going to be really good for them to take the Rosh cleanly. But essentially, the Aegis is a 5-minute temporary makeup for the fact that he is the only one on the map without buyback other than the Storm Spirit. And, I mean, obviously it's a big deal for the Storm Spirit, but it's an even bigger deal for the Invoker.
Invoker gets the Aegis, Chill gets the cheese. By the way, Naga did have buyback until she bought a full Heart of Tarask, so there is that. And
that's the only way to deal with this Kunkka's damage. It is what we would call pure damage, essentially, and unless you're Ghost Sceptering it, you have to just build raw HP. There's no mitigating it.
Do we see that Rapier, though, is the question. He buys a BKB instead, so he wants to be involved with that. The Linked Sphere is also picked up for the Invoker. He needs a slot for it. Maybe a Midas. Yeah, sells or puts the Midas on the Courier. Might just sell it eventually. He wants to get that full value out of it later on, but...
Two things about BKB is it no longer stops X mark, so you can use it if you're in a really bad spot to get your cast off, like if you're silenced or something. Another thing is it allows you to fight during the Song of the Siren. They actually have a lot of heroes that can do that now between the Brewmaster and the Kunkka, and sometimes at long range the Disruptor can throw something out there. So we'll see what they do with it, going out right on the front line.
Armen is taking a lot of damage. He X marks his back, and Tier 3 tower's low. They're trying to hold. More illusions come out from the Naga Siren, and more split pushing from Velix, and they have to back up. They have to go deal with top lane, and Velix, if they can catch him, maybe a big kill. He's going to TP away.
Yeah, Velix is actually the most important life on the map right now. Like, Man should be able to farm up the buyback very shortly, but Velix is the one that's not going to have buyback for 4 minutes at least. And obviously, we already talked about the Invoker. He's got that Band-Aid fix. He's got that Aegis, so he's going to be in the fight one way or another, and... yeah, it's going to be on the Storm Spirit to not go too far forward. I mean, obviously, he wants to push out the top lane, keep doing what they've been doing, is just play a delay of game. But Storm dying puts this game completely in Goomba's hands. They're able to close this one out pretty quickly. But so far, things have been actually working out well over the past 10 minutes for 4 anchors. And with this refresher potentially coming out on the Doom, he can use his Midas, sell his Midas, and he'll be very close. At that point in time, I would have to say that I would give them the edge in any 5v5.
Refreshers often do put you over the edge when it comes to just being able to fight the enemy team, especially Refresher Doom. So very good. And chalk it up to another 40-minute plus long game for a Naga Siren. There are many in the repertoire of this hero, and we'll add another one. I've seen one game recently that there was like a 20-minute Naga game. I don't know. It was yesterday, I believe. Maybe it was earlier today. I don't know, man. I think it was earlier today when they crushed. They crushed xgame. That was actually last game.
Yeah, it was. It just feels like a long time ago now.
Yeah,
but
it does.
They're showing impatience right now. They really just want to go. They just want to go. The Storm can TP back. They don't care. He can push. They don't care. They want these racks.
They're going to split, and they're going to try to take these racks down. Exist is getting brought down by these illusions. More Manta illusions coming in. The Brewling's going to work, and I mean, if you're Goomba, you're just getting absolutely demolished by these freaking illusions. So you actually have to back up. The Brewmaster, his ultimate is now done. They put a lot of pressure on the melee Rex, but unless they take it, it's not going to matter.
Alacrity on the siege creep.
Exist is going to go in. He's going to hit a couple of creeps, and he's going to back up. He's not going to get his crit that he wants. The Rapier would have been huge there, and they have to back up. That's
They're
it.
so hungry for the Rex, but it's just not happening. The Moonwells are taking some of the damage. The Split was used just to right-click a structure. Like, I don't know the last time I saw that, but for those that don't know some Dota 1 mechanics, piercing damage is not great against Fortified. Both the Earth Panda and the Wind Panda do piercing damage. Essentially, the Fire Panda is the only one that does damage to the buildings at all. Like, it's really, really weak. So, yeah, it's not looking good for Goomba if they're committing splits just to desperately try to take racks.
And right now, you can look at it. They went for the melee Rex too, which I think was the kind of strange thing. If they put the damage of the range Rex, it'd be like, okay, because that's not going to regen up. But the melee Rex is eventually just going to get back up to full if they're not careful. And especially with how far these lanes are pushed out, it's going to be a while before they get to that Rax again.
Yeah, piercing damage is 35% against fortified structures, so half what you would expect from like a hero.
Well, the Brewling's not the best pushers in terms of pressure, but now they do have the Assault Crass to work with, so I think this is a very big item.
Could be, but if the refresher comes out, I think they can make it pretty irrelevant.
The Doom gonna be coming from the Doom pretty quickly. I mean, the refresher Doom especially, so he actually has enough money for it, I believe. Oblivion Staff, recipe's 1800, and obviously the Perseverance is about 1800 as well, so.
I mean, he can definitely, I think if he sells the Midas, he also will be pretty close to having buyback as well, which is important.
They'll push out top and...
Trixie selling Midas, I don't know. He seems to hang on to that thing for dear life, so we'll see.
There's no reason, Trixie, you don't need it. Just let it go. Alright, Matsumba Man now sitting with Talisman of Evasion. He is one butterfly away from 6 slottedness from Matsumba Man. You saw how much damage those illusions were doing? Now imagine that plus a butterfly. Ridiculous. I had actually put my money right now on 4AC taking this game because of the Naga Siren. This game's gone too long.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I probably could have said that like 15 minutes ago, but Goomba made some really good fights happen. Obviously, we were talking about how few kills 4 Anchors got, so they're not making that many mistakes. But, like, there was this huge spree of, like, a dozen kills coming out over the course of, like, 8 minutes from Goomba. They were playing really, really well at a point, but now, in this global sense, they seem a bit at a loss. Like, they don't know, when they're being pushed in from the side lanes, how to really end it in the mid without committing too hard into the song.
Exists, gonna X marks himself again, and he's actually gonna get pulled. I don't know if that does anything. He's gonna get brought back in a second. There it goes. Armad is now left alone. Poison touch. Lincoln Sphere broken. Gasha jumps in. Fire blast. Goofy caught out. Big kill. Gotta go. It's only on a support Dazzle, but at least it's 1 hero down and 4 to go. Chill and Trixie. Chill is maybe in trouble. I mean, think he'll die.
So much damage. The pure damage, the magic damage. He's going to take a lot of hits here. It looks like he'll survive and get to cheese, but you never know. One more Radiant Stick, maybe not. He's walking into the Radiance. No,
well, Chill, what are you doing?
Oh, makes it really close, but he does
survive. Eat
survive.
your cheese if you want, or go back home. He actually might just eat. Okay.
Oh, Matsumba Man? Going down. No buyback.
Wow, what a kill. No
for.
buyback coming out from Matsumba Man. What a disaster. Big Static Storm coming out from EDE. Oh, what a huge catch. It's time to go down mid, boys. It's time to finish this game off. Before AC, I thought they were going to take it, but Matsumba Man makes a critical error. He had bought his butterfly just recently, and that means that Goomba are going to be the ones taking this Rax now in this mid lane.
And the Courier doesn't have the Perseverance, so Trixie can't get his refresher to get the second Doom out here. This is 1 lane, but I think they'll draw the line at 2.
Yeah, they're gonna. The Silk Cross blows up that melee Rax. They already just forego the range Rax in that mid lane. They're gonna go for the tier 3 tower. Tornado goes in, split as well, and now Trixie's forced to pop his BKB. No Doom up and available like you talked about, no refresher either. He is getting right-click down. That tier 3 tower blows up. Now the ball lightning in. Valix pulls into EDE. There's the boat going as well. And now they will be not immune, but they're going to have some decent buffs going their way for a period of time. And 2 Rax is done as Goomba gets that much closer to being able to take this game. The only hero down is, it's going to be Matsumba Man for another 10 seconds. They could have taken, oh, they did take the range Rax, so 2 Rax is gone.
This is pretty insane, honestly, because at this point in time, with Roche not being up for an unknown amount of time. We'll see the timer soon, but I honestly think this is a dead even game. 4 racks advantage for GOOMBA is huge, but what 4 anchors have been able to sit on these past 50 minutes is also immense here. The Naga Siren is insanely farmed at 27,000. The Refresher is about to come out, and the amount that 4 anchors have going for them hero and item-wise, I think equates the structural advantage that GOOMBA have. But a lot can come down to this Roche. This Aghadim's Disruptor ultimate is completely game-changing in a lot of situations, and we'll have to see what ED's got. He's been on point all game with his glimpses, with a lot of his abilities, so I'm expecting a lot from the Static Storm.
Yeah, I mean, in the mid-game, he hasn't put up maybe the amount of Static Storms you'd like to see, but the last one, obviously, getting that pick of the Naga Siren gives them 2 sets of Rexes, and that's a pretty good pick coming out from EDE. Chill is here as well in the mid lane with his Selkiros. He has split in 13. Chill pops the BKB, Static Storm goes. It's a bit off the mark, unfortunately, on Valix, and so 2 ultimates forced, or actually, rather, just the one at a BKB. And now the Ags and the Refresher are done for the Doom. The Invoker picks up a heart because why the hell not? Alright.
At this point, just to get a little bit more HP for himself, and this allows him to kind of go in and out of the fights more frequently. You consider Quas regen plus heart, he can leave the fight for about 8 to 10 seconds and he'll be full HP, no matter the circumstances, so that could be beneficial. Overall, though, it's not increasing their offensive potential as much, and I think that at some point they might be looking for an all-in on the racks. Like, as soon as the buybacks are up for 4 anchors, they have much more room for error, and they're able to take the fights in general with this double Doom that is finally up with the Midas on top.
Getting close to that hour-long game mark, the 60-minute mark, if you will, and Matama Man is doing his absolute best to prolong this game, and for a period of time it looked like they would be more than capable of taking it, but with 2 racks down, it's capable, but very difficult. Chill, still farming away the rest of the squad for 4AC down bottom, and
it's the 2 boot strat from Exist. He's got phase boots and BOTs. Should sell phase pretty soon for something. I'm not exactly sure what. Heart is really good. I mentioned Divine Rapier multiple times. Don't want to get the viewers too hype, and that's just not happening. But at the very least, getting an Aegis or a Cheese would be better than the phase boots.
I don't see Exist building a Divine Rapier unless he absolutely has to. And in this
I
situation,
think he does. Like, the game looks really good for them because you look at the buildings, but if you think of what it's going to require for them to take the tier 4s and the throne in spite of the fortification, 4 anchors either have to make a huge mistake and get picked off, which is definitely possible with the Disruptor and all. But if that doesn't happen, it's got to be on them to break it somehow. And Divine Rapier is, you know, one of those unstoppable forces that you look to in that situation.
Especially with how he's been X-marksing, he's played very safe. He can X-marks, blink in, and get like 1 or 2 hits off, and then hopefully kill somebody at that point in time with a Daedalus proc and a Divine Rapier. But yeah, I don't know. We'll wait and see. He's going to boat the wave bottom. He doesn't want these illusions to stay alive for very long, and in fact, they will go down. But he's about to run in Matama Man. He does not. He did not expect Matama Man and Boofy to be there. He actually did a big chunk of damage to both of them, but they'll survive.
So, I mean, obviously, the big thing here is he can just crit the creep wave and do 100% of that damage to the people behind the individuals in a gigantic cone, but if he's close to them, then he also gets plus 35% on top of that. He would do actually more damage to the targets next to who he's hitting than he would to the target that he is actually auto-attacking. Just for those that aren't really sure about how Cleave interacts, it's additive stacking, and Tidebringer is 100%.
So that's why the Battle Fury is a good, I mean,
yeah. I mean, it's not always the best choice, but it definitely does work.
Yeah. Sometimes you see it, sometimes you don't. It's a build that you see a lot in Core Kunkas in professional play, but Exist does build it up this game. He has 200 gold away from Rapier if he wanted it. He's saving up for money, I expect, for buyback, though.
Ooh, top lane. Armin is very far forward.
He is in some trouble, actually. Meatball's going to go. He will kill one, blanks away, and actually avoids the dupe coming out.
How did they not get him? Like, he was so far forward into 4
Wex
people.
move speed, man. He has 508 move speed with Wex orbs on him. Gross.
They don't have great Linken's breakers. Like, the Level Death has a decent cast animation, and you don't generally want Electric Vortex just to break Linken's, but in that case, I think it was what was necessary to set up the Doom. In either case, they get the Skywrath pick off, and now they feel confident going in for Roche, even against the Song.
GOOMBA will take Roshan down. The Aegis is going to be grabbed by Exist. The Cheese will be picked up by Chill, and something will be put on the ground. Phase Boots, that's the one. Exist down with Aegis, 6,400. X marks on Aramet as he TP's home. They'll defend their mid lane as the illusions are going to kill this tier 2 tower. Unless
he doesn't have much time. He just gets a tornado out, and then he's back. Tier 2 mid. Did they even bother denying this right now? Okay, don't get the choice. Naga finishes it off just barely, despite the 25% nerf on illusion. Right-click damage, that butterfly still just tips him over the edge.
I mean, it doesn't matter how much... Oh, there it is. There it is. The Rapier now comes out to exist.
So he dropped the Battle Fury for it, so he only gets the 100% Tidebringer, which is still damn good.
Yeah, you need all of these other items, I think. You need the bots, you need the BKB, Blink, Rapier. I mean, he'll get... Once the Aegis is gone, he'll have, hopefully, buyback and obviously the...
Second Rapier.
Maybe. Wait, did he sell his Battle Fury or did he drop it?
I think he sold it.
Yeah, it's actually... He has so much money. I was like, where did that come from?
That's why. Like, if you look at his unreliable gold, he still has 2,100 after buying the Rapier. That's because he sells the Battle Fury first. Oh, Buffy playing with fire. The kinetic field is slightly off the mark, though.
Yeah, he could have been in some trouble there. Buffy, though, as important as he is, you're hoping that it's just him that dies and nobody else if you're 4 AC.
150 away from buyback on Storm. He just bought out for Hex. He needs to farm up some camps real quick.
And buyback status, there's only two, but the two most important on the side of 4AC, the Naga and the Doom. And soon Valex as well. And they are split.
I guess he sells Soul Ring, probably. Yeah, sell your Soul Ring and then you'll have buyback.
Exist is going to X-Marks himself. Oh, wow, gosh. Exist X-Marks, I think he TP'd back home. Yeah, and actually just cleared the creep wave. That's critical. And now they're going to go for the last set of racks. Split's going to go, and Chill is just going to try to push this down. Armin pops up the Alacrity. There's the BKB for Trixie's going to try to fight this. Exist, X-Marks, they're going to go on Armin, but there's the Hex up, and Tubman right-clicking Armin down. There's the boat that'll keep them alive for a bit longer. Doom onto EDE, but he got his ultimate off. Trixie, he is going to fall as well. He will have to buy back. Deafening Blast onto Tubman. Exist, still doomed up as well. The double Doom coming in. Exist has the Aegis, mind you. It's going to go off. Armin buys back. Is he going to bots in? I'm not sure if he is. And probably is already back into the fight. Valix now going to get right-click down. The Rapier going to work. Valix is going to have to ball lightning across the ravine. The X-Mark goes, and he gets the kill on the other side of things. But Tubman still alive. Storm buys back. Still alive as Trixie, but without a single Doom left. Ball lightning in. Chill pops the cheese. Armin in some trouble, but it doesn't matter as long as X6 survives. Yule Scepter. Armin's not dead yet. Now there's the Torrent, and they will get Valix for a second time. Trixie's going to get right-click down. There's the boat. 4 dead. And the only one left alive is Tubman, but his base is crumbling beneath his feet. Sunstrike going in on Tubman. There's going to be a couple of Fire Blasts as well. Good mirror image, but it doesn't matter. And Exist will chase him down. X-Marks, and the song is going to go, but it's an 8-second X-Marks duration, rather 4 seconds, excuse me. Tornado comes in and hits the long-range Tornado. And Tubman is going to fall, but yes, he will have buyback. Now they're going to work on the Tier 4 towers. He's not dead yet. The Torrent goes, and finally, they do kill him.
Yeah. So he's not even bothering. They know that he can't do anything by himself going in. The Tier 4s are dropping. It looks like they actually still might try for a play here. There it is, the GG. No buyback from Tubman despite having it. He just says, there's absolutely nothing to be done. You guys completely dominated in that last fight. I mean, the Static Storm was great. The Kunkka's Rum did absolute work, mitigating a lot of the damage received and, of course, getting some good AoE stun. But one real aspect that was the mechanical advantage of Goomba over 4ASC is the amount of lives they could just throw at that top lane of racks. They had Aegis, they had Cheese, they had several buybacks, and the problem with Doom is he can only take you out of the fight once or twice with this refresher. So he takes out the Disruptor once, he takes out the Kunkka once, but the Aegis brings him back in, the buybacks across the board, 4 BOTs allow them to just keep throwing bodies in until they would take the fight. So Goomba Gaming taking it here. 58.5 minutes. It certainly took a while with Tubman's Naga Siren play, but they are able to close this one out. Very well played.
Yeah, I mean, that game could have been over 30 minutes ago had Tubman not taken the game as late as humanly possible. 5-10-4, certainly not one of his best games, but 642 GPM, nothing to scoff at. So 4AC, they go 1-1 today, but our last game of the day coming up is going to be NIP versus Empire, and we will jump in that game as soon as possible. Again, thanks for joining us. Make sure you check us out on Twitter, @MautDota and @BlazeCasting as well. Stick around for NIP Empire coming up shortly.